Michael, another beautiful picture. Do you do many Native American subjects in your current paintings?
I do a few, not a lot these days. When I first came to the West and to Tucson, I was visiting the Pueblo tribes, and I found those tribes to be interesting. They're tribes that you don't see in the old Western movies, and it was something new that I wanted to learn about. And like other artists, you want to choose a tribe to study and paint. And it was the architecture also, the Pueblo architecture, which is what I was painting a lot of back then too. The dances you'd go to, some were very traditional and didn't allow photography, but were still just as much fun as the others. And each Pueblo had their own look to their outfits and their traditions, and it was very interesting to explore. And at that time, I was working with an engineering firm that picked up a contract to get people out to the Bureau of Indian Affairs facilities. And our area was the Northwest United States tribes. So it allowed me to visit and learn about many different tribes, and all the tribes are different. And this painting took me back to my first visit to Glacier Park. I remember being up there in September, and it snowed up there, and the lighting wasn't very good in the park, but I still got up that way on the highway going to the sun and took some photographs. Did not come up with any paintings that I can remember from that particular time there. So recently I was back up into Glacier, which is one of my favorite national parks. I mean, the hiking up there is really something else to do. And on the Going to the Sun highway at the top there is this waterfall that comes down. And I took pictures of it and thought, you know, will I find a way to use that in a painting? You just never know. And it sat around for a while. And then I took a look at it and I thought, if I put a figure in there crossing that stream, it might just work in the composition of... The composition works around the focal point of the figure here. It brings your eye around to it. And I knew it had really good movement for the composition, but it just needed a figure. Originally I thought maybe a cowboy would work, and it would. It's a landscape. But when you travel up there, the last time we were able to go up to the Blackfoot tribe and visit some of the places up there and visit a museum. And in this museum they had some of the old outfits. And I just decided, well, why not? Why not go for the challenge of studying the history of the outfits that they would have been wearing and do a paint horse with the more traditional Blackfoot blanket on it. And that's a challenge in itself to find that history. And those artists that do work on history spend a lot of time doing research to try and get things as authentic as they can and take you back to those times. So it fit that really the Native American back in that day would have had this kind of romance to walk through in the West. And I think that's what kind of inspired this piece to try and pull off. What would it have been like back in their day and in their time to be surrounded by all of this beauty?
Michael, do you think this painting did right by all your hosts at the Hopi reservations and the other Native American reservations you visited in your earlier years here?
And that was really part of that same job with the engineering firm. I was trained one summer up on the Hopi Reservation, and it was meeting people and getting comfortable, meeting tribal members, having them take you into their community and look out for you, knowing that you were sort of out of place there, and how friendly they were. And you also got a feel for their sense of humor, a little bit of teasing that would go on. Kind of like the cowboys like to do with you a little bit too. But they have always made me feel really comfortable, because I think they understood that I was really interested in learning something that you didn't know was there until you got out there.
Well, Michael, I think that's a beautifully and an honest effort, and they'd be proud of it.